Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of MBR. I'm Scott.
I'm Christian.
And this is going to be episode 11
of Nerdy Boys Reviews.
Yeah, buddy. So this episode is going to be about Flash, Season 1, Episode 2. Pretty exciting. So let's just get into the general overview. What'd you see in this episode?
So essentially, this episode, the villain was Multiplex. Who is from the comic books. He's a villain for many years. He came after the guy from Marvel who can multiply, but he's DC's version pretty much. So he essentially was doing stem cell research to grow a new heart or something for his wife. And then Simon Stagg stole his research or whatever.
Yeah.
And essentially he has the power to multiply into more than one person now. So his whole mission is to kill Simon Stagg in this.
Yeah. So you start off in the episode a little bit. It's the Flash encounters this, somebody robbing, what is it, a gun store, I believe, and he notices like something out of place. That the camera only shows one guy robbing this place, but there's like footprints of around 6 people, all the same shoe size. So that you later realize that this Multiplex guy is like the same guy, and Multiplex was involved in the Star Labs explosion. That's how he received his powers to multiply. Through this episode, you see some character developments between Joe West and Barry Allen.
Yeah, we had a lengthy argument about it.
Yeah.
Essentially, you see Joe West always doubting Barry, and it gets to the point where Barry tells him, you're not my father. Like they show the flashbacks, like they do in Arrow. They're having flashbacks a lot, and so essentially Harrison Wells has to step in and kind of give Joe West a reality check, and it really gets through to him. That was something for me I didn't really see as very believable, but we talked about it, we kind of didn't budge at all, but now we're budging. So, it's something, that it was really a reality check for Joe West, and he turned around, and he's starting to encourage Barry more, so we'll see if that continues or if that changes.
That's pretty much the overall theme of this. Basically, Joe West just sits there and doubts him, and then all of a sudden, right when Barry needs a confidence boost the most, Joe West comes through, and then, that really gives Barry the confidence to go head-to-head with Multiplex and defeat him.
Mm-hmm.
So some Easter eggs in this episode. I was so excited. You hear the mention of one half of Firestorm. Who is that?
Was it Ronnie Raymond or?
Yeah, it was Ronnie Raymond.
This episode, you also have Iris West, who got the encouragement by Barry to do journalism, and that is eventually her profession in the comic books, and she's gonna take control of that in the show by chasing after the Flash, apparently. So
yeah.
Some other stuff. There was a brief mention of Ameritech in this episode. Ameritech is like this evil corporation that's essentially like the DC version of an evil Stark Industries. So we'll have to see what role they play, because I know there was mention of it in Arrow 2, which we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Again, in this episode, you have really, really good acting from the lead guy, Grant Gustin.
Oh my gosh.
When he was talking to Joe West at the end, like, oh yeah, you're my father kind of thing, like, almost made me cry, just like last week. It almost made me cry when he's talking to his real dad. So, you're just getting all over the map. Like, this guy's a really good actor.
Yeah, every scene he's in, he makes that scene that much better. Some cool things that I seen was, the whole addition of junk food into play.
Right.
Which is cool for me, because it's like, you see how they're adapting some things from the comic book world onto the screen. As comic book fans, you really want to see certain qualities of characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they took the quality from Wally West. When he got his powers, he was eating a lot and a lot and a lot. And Wally West, if you guys don't know, is Iris West's nephew.
Yeah.
So it's you're getting things like that, and then you see the treadmill. When you see treadmill, you think instantly the Flash and time travel. And then the other thing Jeff Johns loves to do. Jeff Johns is the screenwriter, and he's mentioned how he couldn't be happier with the Flash. He always wants to throw in his little, Barry Allen's always late, even though he can run. So they juxtapose how fast he is and the fact that he's never on time anywhere still, Yeah. And that was the best part of Flashpoint, I think, was how they threw that in there that he never was fast enough. He could never make it, Yeah. And then he has the powers to do so. But Flashpoint's a whole different story.
Yeah. And just seeing how like they're adapting that into like live action Flash, it's just real cool to see like when they just adapt certain qualities and characteristics.
Yeah,
that's always nice.
The disappointing thing, we'll talk about this in a different video, is they're not sticking with this actor for the live action film of the Flash.
Yeah, that's pretty upsetting. But that's a whole different video.
Yeah. If you read my review from last week, I talked about certain things that could lead up to Infinite Crisis, it's just really a Crisis storyline that they're going to lead into from this show, I think, which is kind of exciting. We're going to post another article, too, about how they can lean into Teen Titans or things like that.
Yeah, or even the Outsiders.
And so far they can already almost do the Justice League with Green Arrow, the Flash. They're bringing in Firestorm, and they could bring in Dick Grayson, too.
Yeah, so it's pretty much just up for grabs at this point.
Yeah. So the biggest strengths to me in this episode was simply the acting. I didn't have a problem with really any of the actors, but Grant Gustin steals the show, of course, for me. Weaknesses were just some things were kind of out of place, maybe, or the visual effects to me aren't up to certain par. Like, of course, you're not going to get anywhere near film effects, but. Yeah. They will go a long way into making this show everything it can be.
Yeah, just to add on to the the whole effects is like at the same time you do have to realize just like you said you're not gonna have the budget that a major film would have, so they pretty much have to work with what they've got or what they can afford.
Right.
But some of the bonuses in this episode was just like the overall like how everything was conducted and written and acted out. It felt like I was immersed in a comic book world, just from the beginning, from when Flash is zooming around, giving his introduction. That was probably one of the best things about that this episode when he gave him that introduction. That was like probably my favorite thing.
Being a little corny.
Yeah, or when he's talking to Iris West and he goes into like super speed mode and he's like racing around her, telling her all these truths that he can't really tell her.
I think the effects look really good when it's not very close up, when you just see like the flash of him or from a sky shot, like I think that looks really good. But when you actually slow-mo him running and stuff, to me that stuff doesn't look as good as it can look.
Yeah, you just kind of have to. Some things you just take with a grain of salt. Regardless, even if like the effects aren't all like right where you want them to be, the show is just such a good show. Right now, I think Arrow is like the best show on TV.
Yeah,
to me, but I definitely expect the Flash to surpass that show. That Flash is just so amazing.
Yeah, the Flash is really good. A couple like other Easter eggs was Simon Stagg. He's the antagonist of Metamorpho in the comic books, and then the gun shop is called Hex. That was robbed, and that can be an allusion to Jonah Hex, another DC character.
Yeah. So. I don't know. You can draw that conclusion. But I'm not really too sure. But as we were just talking about this before we shot this video, and talking about like people jumping to conclusions a little bit too much. It's like, what was it?
Yeah, he's running 352 miles an hour. It's an illusion of New 52, like everything else. It could be, but it's reading a lot into it. So
yeah. But my overall grade for this episode, definitely A+. I loved everything about this episode. Honestly, I really don't have any complaints at all. If you graded it, what would it be?
I just give it. I give it an A-. It was really good, but to me, they still have some things to work on. So I think that kind of concludes it. Anything else?
Like usual, if you liked our content, please. Like and share our videos. It really helps us out. Just trying to get us discovered a little bit.
Yeah, check out our website, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we finally started uploading some stuff to YouTube. If you guys have any feedback at all, good or bad, it doesn't matter. Comment in the comments below or on our website. You can email us. It will be directly sent to both of our personal emails, so we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
On our website, go to contact us and just put in your name and email and whatever message, and it'll send straight to us.
Yep, but that's all we have for this week of Flash. So this is Nerdy Boys Reviews. I'm Scott.
I'm Christian.
And
stay nerdy, boys!